What up, Kane fans? Welcome to the Cafecito and Kane Show. We are 24 hours away from kickoff with Louisville Cardinals. Let me know, guys, how are you feeling about tomorrow's game? Have your feelings changed at all? Nerves setting in? You guys still feeling pretty calm? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat. But please, before you do that, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. So when this season started, I remember looking at the schedule and thinking, all right, obviously you got the toughest games of the schedule on the front end, and then you got that ACC stretch that you got to just make sure and not trip up, make sure and take care of business. And we should be playing football in January. And by that, I mean making the college football playoff. That goal hasn't really changed. But, something happened on August 31st. We went out and we beat the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Some would say the score didn't indicate how much better we looked than them on the field, and I would agree with that. So when that happened, I think everybody's goals and aspirations for the season went up a bit. It wasn't just about getting to Charlotte for the ACC title game. It wasn't just about sneaking into the playoffs. No. It became, this team is like for real. It became, they can not only make the playoff, they could make a run in the playoffs, like a deep run. Even, the term natty or national championship was starting to get thrown around after we won those first couple of games, especially once we pounded USF and we were a couple games into the season that you started hearing murmurs of that. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying what you started hearing in the media. So expectations started to change. Expectations started to go up to the point that we went into Doak, got a victory over our arch rival Florida State, and a lot of people were upset after the game because of how it ended. You could look at that one of two ways. You got A, a lot to work on, which is true. You do. But B, we started the season 5-0. We're number 2 in the country, and we're not happy. We're not satisfied. So that, I think, really shows where we are, where we're at as a program, and how much progress we've made. Now, we've gotten through that tougher stretch of the season, gotten through Notre Dame, Florida State. South Florida even was supposed to be a much tougher matchup than we thought. I mean, they've looked great in all their other games. They absolutely dominated an undefeated North Texas team last week at North Texas. And Miami beat this USF team and made it look easy. So, yeah, a lot of cause for optimism for sure. But now you're going into a portion of the schedule that none of these remaining 7 teams can match up with us physically. Not a single one of them. Neither in the trenches nor on the outside for the most part. Although Louisville, they do have Chris Bell and Colin Lacey, who are a threat. But in the trenches, this is, especially this game, this is quite a mismatch. So we're heading into a portion of the schedule where, Notre Dame obviously was a huge game. The nation's eyes were on us, and we delivered with a huge signature win. And we've done nothing but win ever since. You beat a ranked USF team. A lot of people were watching that game because it was on CW. It was the biggest game and biggest college game in CW's history. We showed out in that one. And then the other 2 games were in-state rivalry games, so it's hard not to get up for those. Now you're heading into a portion of the schedule where, hey, Friday night game against Louisville, it's not a rivalry game. It's not on national TV, ABC. Well, it's on national TV. It's on ESPN, but it's a Friday night slot. I mean, you're not going to get the same viewership as you would Saturday night prime time or a 3:30 game on CBS or ABC. It's not the same. So, bit more of a challenge getting up for the game. In the past, that would be cause for concern. Not so much anymore. I'm not too concerned about it this time because you have a lot more leadership on the field and in the locker room. And I'm talking amongst the players, not just the coaching staff. A lot more leadership on the field, a lot more of a veteran presence. And that tends to keep the younger guys from losing focus. So not as concerned about that. Another thing that would be cause for concern in the past was you're facing a play caller like Jeff Brom, who always has given us trouble. The last 2 seasons, Louisville has put up a ton of points on us. We lost the first one in 2023. We won last year, but it was a shootout, 52-45. We needed every bit of our number one offense in the country to show up that day, and they did, and we got the win. But Jeff Brom showed our flaws. Granted, that was with Tyler Shuck, who was a much better quarterback. Now you got Miller Massa quarterback, not nearly as mobile as Tommy Castellanos with FSU. Not nearly, I don't think he's quite as athletic or just as good in general as Tyler Shuck. I think he's got some talent. He's a pretty good pocket passer at times when he has protection. Here's the problem, though. The O-line for Louisville, I don't know how else to put it. It's bad. They cannot consistently protect Miller Moss. So as long as Miami's forcing 3rd and longs, which I think they've done a good job of so far this year, that defense can pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. And again, he's not going to be as elusive as Castellanos or as even Byron Brown or DJ Lagway or any of those guys. It could be an absolute feeding frenzy in the backfield for those bigger names like Mesidor, like Bain, David Blay, Justin Scott, even Marquise Lightfoot. I'd love to see Lightfoot, Blunt, and maybe even Booker Pickett get in there, for some snaps. That would be great to take some pressure off of Bain. I don't want to see him getting more than 50 snaps tomorrow night. But, yeah, that would be a cause for concern before. You're facing a coach that knows how to scheme you up. We have a very good defensive coordinator who has been a home run hire so far and knows how to make adjustments during the game. So I'm a lot less nervous about that. And we're at home. And we have one of the most dominant D-lines in the country, maybe the best D-line in the country, going up against their O-line that's one of the worst in the country. Not a good combo for them. That's a bad matchup for them. Truth side. I think Brom is going to call quick passes. 5, 7-step drops will be suicidal. Yeah. Problem is if he's calling those quick passes and they go for incompletions or they go for really short gains and we're stopping the run, buddy, on 3rd and 9, you don't really have a choice. You're going to have to drop back. Hopefully Coach Heatherman has a game plan for that, and hopefully we execute. This is going to be one of those games, like I said, in the past would be, a little tougher to get up for. But I need to see the same mentality. I need to see them playing with the same violence, the same urgency on defense that we saw the first 5 games that has made them look like a championship caliber defense. And obviously I've beat this dead horse. I'll say it one last time. If you got them down, don't let them back up. Finish them off. I want to see them really drive it home. If they get a 2-touchdown lead, a 3-touchdown lead, make it ugly. Make it really ugly, okay? And I'm not talking, committing penalties or anything like that. No extracurricular stuff. Just keep driving it home. Keep getting in the end zone. Keep scoring points until it's really over. And we should be fine. That and don't turn the ball over, obviously. Don't turn the ball over and don't shoot yourself in the foot with bad penalties. So those are kind of my thoughts on the game. Stuff that used to concern me before does not nearly concern me as much now. Not saying those things can't happen. Not saying we can't start getting in our own way again and making mistakes that we shouldn't be making. But I'm just saying I feel like physically they're going to be so outmatched in the trenches. I mean, we really have to screw up repeatedly and consistently in this game to give this one away. And I just honestly don't see that happening. They got to go out and prove it. They got to go out and execute. And they're coming off a bye week. Actually, both teams are coming off a bye week. So plenty of time to prepare and put the chess pieces in place for both sides. So it'll be interesting to see how Louisville comes out on offense. It'll be interesting to see how Heatherman lines us up, what he goes with to try to take certain things away. I would imagine stopping the run and stopping the short passes is going to be a focus to force those 3rd and longs. And if we're able to do that, then it's going to be a long night for Louisville. Obviously, don't make any big special team mistakes. Going into the season, that was a concern. Our special teams has been consistently mediocre to bad for 20 years. Now, kickoff coverage, punt coverage. I'm not even talking about the kicking itself. Field goal kicking, punting has been pretty solid, especially our kicking. Carter Davis has shown that he's shown why he won the job. Kickoff coverage, punt coverage, a few punt returns by Malachi Toney have almost broken loose for bigger gains. I feel like everybody's keeping their assignments. Everybody's flying downfield, making tackles. We've done a good job in that regard. The operation has been smooth, especially with punting, getting the ball away, not getting it blocked or anything. That's been a breath of fresh air this season. So that's another reason why I'm feeling relatively calm. Another reason I'm feeling pretty calm. Hey, finally we get a home game where there's not supposed to be any rain. You saw 2 weeks ago, when Carson Beck finally got to throw a dry football this year. That was his best game of the season. Their D-line is not bad. They got a couple of edge rushers that are pretty good. Our tackles just have to do their job. And if you protect Carson Beck, you don't let them get any pressure on him. I think on offense we'll be fine. We won't turn the ball over. No pre-snap penalties. We'll be okay. Like I said, we're now starting to face teams. We already faced the teams that physically and athletically can match up with us. Maybe they're not quite as good of a team overall, but at least physically and athletically, as far as like NFL body types, they have some of those. Louisville up front, not so much. And Syracuse and SMU and all these teams we're going to face, that's going to be the case. So, just keep establishing the run, but also, if they try to sell out to take away the run, then take what they give you, which for 3 quarters we did a great job of. Big game for our DBs. They have NFL talent at wide receiver, but we have the edge in the trenches. Yeah, we have a sizable edge in the trenches. But yeah, Chris Bell at 6'2", 220 pounds will be a challenge to cover. But thanks to the roster acquisition abilities of Mario Cristobal, bringing in guys like Damari Brown and Xavier Lucas, you look at across the way at a guy like Chris Bell. That's why you bring in a guy like Damari Brown for games like this, when they have a 6'2" to 6'4" wide receiver that can go up and win jump balls, that can dominate at the line of scrimmage. That's the reason you get a 6'1", 6'2", 200-pound corner like him, or like Xavier Lucas. So this will be a game where their performance is going to matter quite a bit. And also shedding blocks at the line of scrimmage and reading plays properly and making tackles, staying at home. Open field tackling for the secondary is going to be huge, as it has been for the first 5 games, because with our D-line, a lot of teams are going to this quick passing game stuff and, trying to run the ball. It has, just like our offense is kind of pick your poison, kind of the same with our defense so far. John, are you aware Louisville's coming in physically hampered? No Duke Watson. Running back Isaac Brown. Yeah. I know their running back room definitely is banged up. Yeah, thank you, Juan. I was aware of that. Isaac Brown is nicked up. He's not quite 100%. Still a threat. My focus is still getting that guy's butt on the ground if he's on the field and he's got the ball in his hand. Hey, what's up, Mike? I'm surprised nobody has talked about the size on Louisville's O-line. They have O-line that weighed less than 300 pounds. We have to dominate the line of scrimmage. Absolutely, man. And this is one of those games where you could probably go the entire night without blitzing. We're probably going to blitz at times. I would definitely, sprinkle it in there, but you can get after them with your front four, maybe even a front three on some downs, to really hang back and make sure you take that quick passing game away. Maybe some delayed blitzes, some zone blitzes, try to throw them off a bit. So it'll be interesting. We finally have a defensive coordinator that can go toe-to-toe with Coach Brom and maybe even win that chess match on top of having the better athletes. Comes in outman, also limited how he can attack Miami. Yes, Brown is a game breaker, but he can't sustain the ground game. Yeah, 100%. Huge liability in pass pro. Yep. Their entire O-line and running back room have been a liability in pass pro. It's been bad. I think they've thrown 3 pick sixes this year. Yeah. It's not good. But anyway, my final thoughts, again, don't play down to your opponent. Start fast, which we've done a good job of this year. Keep doing that. Play a cleaner game. Hey, I'm not even saying, get it down to 0 penalties, because that's almost impossible, especially with the ACC refs. But if you could keep it under 5 penalties for the game, that's a good job. That's progress. Don't turn the ball over. Come up front, just go in and dominate them, just physically absolutely dominate them up front with our size and our strength, and our running backs. I mean, somebody even breaks through the line and tries to get a tackle on Marty Brown or Mark Fletcher, then you have to deal with their size and their athleticism. So, good luck with that. Carson Beck, just be Carson Beck. Take your time, carve up that defense, even though, Louisville on paper, they have a solid defense. They haven't really played anybody aside. I mean, the best offense they played is Virginia's, who's legit, and they lost to Virginia. So I don't know, man. I know my PTSD is saying that I should be a little bit worried that it's a Friday night game and all that stuff. And, there's going to be butterflies. I'll be a little nervous before kickoff, as I am for every game. But honestly, not a ton of reason for concern. I have faith in the boys. I think they're going to get it done tomorrow. A couple final notes. Jordan Lyle, hope to see him get some more burn this week. I think he had 7 or 8 carries last week. Didn't look particularly great, but, it's his first carry since week 1. That's kind of to be expected. He's got to kind of get his rhythm back and his timing back. But I hope to see Jordan Lyle be a bigger part of the offense against Louisville. Same with Elijah Lofton. Hopefully this week off, hopefully these, 2 weeks off over the last 3 weeks has helped him heal up a little bit. And if he's even close to 100%, I think you'll see them kind of unleash Elijah Lofton a little bit. I'm not just talking like dump offs into the flat. I'm talking like actually, really using him in the middle of the field, using him in the offense. Hopefully he'll be able to block a little bit better, because, last year as a freshman, he blocked great. He was pancaking dudes. I want to see Elijah Lofton at full strength. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow. And a lot more people have been coming out and saying, hey, I think we finally may get a JoJo Trader sighting. I hope this is the week. Man, because, you got 7 games left. It's not quite the home stretch yet, but, you're nearing the halfway point of the season. I'd like to see him become more of a factor and get involved in the offense. So by the time the end of the season comes around and we're trying to get into those playoffs, he's already contributing in a major way. He's already kind of in rhythm, and he's got that rapport and that chemistry built up with Carson Beck and the rest of the offense. So let me see what else. If I'm missing anything here, Miami will score. We'll have 6 or more sacks. I could see that. Yeah, anywhere from 4 to 6 sacks. Their starting left tackle, Sylvester, is 6'6", 280. Right tackle, 6'4", 290. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And those are current numbers. That's not just like their recruiting profiles on 247, because some people do that, and it's like, yeah, those haven't been updated in a while. But if that's legit, if 6'6", 280, that's a power forward. That's not like a true D1 P4 left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if I'm missing anything. Anything else? Be a signature game for Ruben Bain, national TV. I think it definitely can. DB's I already hit. New King God, what's going on? I agree. Even if Brom does find a weakness, I expect this with this older team to make the right adjustments. 100%. 100%. It's just, for me, you got to cut the penalties down. You got to cut the penalties down. And if we have a big lead late, finish them off. That way we can take the starters out and we can conserve them, and they don't have so much mileage racked up after 6 games. It's legit numbers. All right, cool. Well, we'll have a considerable advantage. I mean, the tackles on Notre Dame in week 1 couldn't handle our edge guys. Imagine guys that are 40, 50 pounds lighter that likely don't have NFL aspirations, while the other guys did. Anyways, thank you guys for hopping on with me. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Hopefully we get a dominant, not just a dub, a dominant dub. I want to see a blowout tomorrow. Hopefully we get that. I don't like to give predictions, but yeah, I believe in our boys, just like I said, and I got the Canes winning tomorrow. But enjoy the game. As always, have a good night. Go Canes.